Let me ask you something that nobody else is going to ask you today. You are sitting at a red light, minding your business, music playing, not a care in the world. You have done absolutely nothing wrong. Then a police cruiser pulls up right behind you. The officer steps out, and that little camera clipped to his chest is already recording. Now here is what they have been telling you for years. The body camera protects you, it keeps officers accountable, it is your friend out there on the road. But what if everything you were told about that camera was only half the truth? Because in 2026, that same camera, the one that was sold to you as your shield, has quietly become one of the sharpest tools being used against everyday drivers across this country. And the overwhelming majority of people behind the wheel have absolutely no idea this shift has happened. This is not a scare tactic. This is not an exaggeration. These are real documented changes happening in courtrooms, in state legislatures, and inside police departments right now. And today, I am going to break down 3 specific things you need to understand about body cam footage and your rights during a traffic stop in 2026. Because the moment you understand this, you become a smarter, more protected driver every single time you get behind the wheel. The first thing you need to understand: the body cam does not always start when you think it does. Here is something that will genuinely surprise you. In most states, the activation of a police officer's body camera is logged with an official timestamp. That timestamp becomes the legal start of your recorded encounter. Sounds fair, right? The problem is that multiple investigations and legal challenges across the country have revealed a pattern where officers are activating their cameras after the initial moments of a traffic stop have already taken place. What does that mean for you? It means that the first 30 seconds to a full minute of your interaction, which is often when the most critical exchanges happen, the first questions asked, the tone set, any early rights issues that arise are simply not on the recording. When you later request that footage, you receive a video that begins mid-conversation. And here is where it gets serious. Courts in 2026 are accepting that official timestamp as the legitimate start of the encounter. There is no legal requirement in most states for the officer to explain why the camera was not activated from the moment the stop began. So you might walk away from a traffic stop feeling like your rights were not fully respected in those opening moments, but when you try to use the footage to support your case, the recording does not begin until after those moments occurred. This is not a conspiracy theory. Attorneys who handle traffic stop cases are actively raising this issue in hearings right now. A Georgia police department actually changed its internal citation policies in early 2026 after body camera footage captured conduct during a stop that city leadership publicly called unacceptable. That story made local news. But the broader problem of late camera activation affecting drivers across the country quietly continues. So what do you do with this information? The answer is your own dash cam. The second you see those flashing lights in your mirror while you are still pulling over to the side of the road, your dash cam is already capturing everything. It creates your own independent timestamp. It records the full stop from the moment it begins, not from the moment someone else decides to press a button. Your recording does not rely on anyone else's policy or discretion. It is yours. The second thing you need to understand: footage can be submitted in clips, not full context. This one is something that very few drivers are aware of, and it is arguably the most impactful change affecting how traffic stop evidence is being handled in 2026. In civil traffic hearings, license suspension proceedings, and insurance dispute processes, There is growing practice where shortened segments of body camera footage are being submitted as evidence rather than the complete recording of the interaction. Think about what that actually means in a real situation. Imagine an officer pulls you over. You are nervous, as most people are during any traffic stop. In the first 20 seconds before you have fully processed what is happening, you reach toward your center console without saying anything out loud. The full recording of your stop shows 12 minutes of completely cooperative, calm behavior. But a 40-second clip that focuses on that early moment, removed from the full context of everything that followed, tells a completely different story. That clip can be used in an administrative hearing about your license. It can be referenced by an insurance company assessing your premium after an incident. It can shape how a case is framed before a judge ever sees the rest. The law in many jurisdictions does not currently require that the full recording be submitted alongside the clip. This is a gap that legal advocates are actively pushing to close, but as of right now in 2026, that gap exists and it is being used. The practical lesson here is straightforward and powerful. Narrate your traffic stop out loud, not aggressively, not confrontationally, simply, clearly. Officer, I am reaching into my glove box for my registration. I am going to place both hands on the steering wheel. I have my license right here in my wallet. Every single word you say is captured on audio by that body camera. You are essentially writing captions onto whatever footage gets clipped and submitted later. You are giving context to every moment. That audio travels with the clip whether anyone wants it to or not. A clip of you reaching towards your console means something very different when your voice is clearly heard saying exactly what you are doing and why. That is a simple habit that costs you nothing but can protect you enormously. The third thing you need to understand, your car has its own recorder and it is being used. Most drivers have heard the term black box in the context of airplane crashes. What far fewer people realize is that the vast majority of modern vehicles already have one too. It is called an event data recorder, commonly referred to as an EDRC. And in 2026, the way this data is being accessed and combined with other evidence during and after traffic stops has reached a level that most drivers are completely unprepared for. Your vehicle's EDR captures your speed in the seconds before an event, whether your brakes were applied, how hard they were applied, your throttle position, seatbelt status, and in some cases, steering input. This data can be pulled after an accident or incident and submitted as part of a legal proceeding. Here is the 2026 development that matters most. Several states have now implemented real-time electronic insurance verification systems. Ohio is currently moving a bill through its legislature to do exactly this. New Jersey introduced the Motor Vehicle Insurance Verification Act earlier this year. New York already passed laws requiring insurers to report coverage in real time. What these systems do is allow law enforcement and state DMV databases to instantly confirm your insurance status at the moment of a stop without requiring you to hand over a paper card. That sounds convenient, and in some ways it is. But when a real-time insurance check is combined with EDR data pulled from your vehicle after an incident, the two sources of information create what is essentially a digital case file about you, built entirely from your own car's data and your insurance history, before you have said a single word. Your vehicle is no longer just a machine you drive. In the eyes of traffic enforcement in 2026, it is a data-generating device that documents your behavior on the road continuously. The body camera on the officer's chest becomes the visual frame around that data. Together, they build a picture of the stop that is largely constructed from information your own property produced about you. Understanding this does not mean you should be paranoid every time you drive. It means you should be informed. Keep your insurance active without any gaps. Even a one-day lapse can now be flagged automatically by these real-time systems and result in immediate consequences, including citations and registration suspension. Know that your vehicle is recording data about how you drive. And understand that in any situation involving a traffic stop, the evidence being assembled about you is no longer limited to what an officer observes with their eyes. The road has changed. The rules have changed. The tools being used during traffic stops have changed. And the drivers who understand those changes are the ones who protect themselves, their licenses, their insurance rates, and their rights. Every single video on this channel exists for one reason, and that is to make sure you are never the driver who gets caught off guard because nobody told you what was actually happening. If this video gave you something you did not know before today, share it with someone who drives. Because the more people understand their rights on the road in 2026, the better off everyone is. Subscribe and stay close, because the next video covers something even more important, and it is coming very soon.